some motherfuckers is down on right now. Bring it down, bring it down, bring it down.
The money supply is basically the total amount of cash and cash-like things circulating in an economy at a specific time. This includes physical cash, money in checking accounts, and sometimes even savings accounts. Think of it as all the stuff people can use to easily buy things. Governments, through their central banks, control the issuance of physical currency. They also influence the money supply by setting policies that affect how much banks can lend. By affecting the money supply, governments can try to influence things like inflation and economic growth.
What is component of money supplies? It consists of M1, M2, and M3. M1 is the narrow money supply. It includes money in coins and notes that are in calculations and other money equivalents that can be easily converted to cash, whereas M2 includes everything in M1, but it includes short-term deposit in banks, not CDs you have to break, and certain money market funds that can be easily be liquidated. Next, M3 is M2 plus large time deposit. It is monitored by Bank Negara Malaysia to accept the overall liquidities in the financial system and guide monetary policy decisions. Tracking M3 help in understanding the availability of money for spending and investments, which impact economic growth and inflation. Malaysia financial system is a well-regulated and integrated framework that supports economic growth and financial stability. It comprises various institutions such as Commercial Bank, Islamic Bank, and Development Bank, all of which are overseen by regulators such as Bank Negara Malaysia and the Security Commissions of Malaysia. The system consists of more than 35 commercial banks, 16 Islamic banks, and several development banks with total assets of about $418 billion and deposit of more than about $316 billion. These assets and deposits are mainly from Maybank, CIMB Group, Public Bank, Hong Leong Bank, and RHB Bank, which contribute more than 70% of the total bank asset. The system also has diversified financial market for currency, capital, foreign exchange, and derivative.
So next, I will continue about factor influence money supply. In Malaysia, the money supply is influenced by a variety of factors. The central bank policy, such as adjusting reserve requirement or conducting open market operation, directly affect liquidity. For example, lowering reserve requirement allow banks to lend more, increase the money supply. Government fiscal action like increased spending on public projects inject money into the economy. Economic conditions such as recession may lead the central bank to lower interest rate to stimulate borrowing and spending. The banking system willingness to lend also play a role. More loan mean a large money supply. Exchange rate impact the money supply too. A stronger ringgit make import cheaper, potential reducing the money supply as less currency is needed for purchase. Lastly, the public preference for cash over deposit can decrease the money supply, as more cash is in hand means less in the bank for lending. This factor collecting shape the flow and availability of money in Malaysia economy.
The value of M1 in Malaysia has fluctuated over the years, showing a general trend of growth. The highest value recorded was in December 2023 at RM638.4 billion, indicating increased liquidity and possibly higher consumer spending during that period. On the other hand, the lowest value was recorded in April 2030 at RM292.4 billion. This range highlights the dynamic nature of cash in circulation and demand deposits, reflecting change in monetary policy and economic conditions. M2 has shown a steady growth trend reflecting the increase in short-term savings and deposits. The highest value was recorded in December 2023 at Rm 2.4 trillion, suggesting a robust saving culture and confidence in the banking system. The lowest value recorded in January 2030 at Rm 1.4 trillion provides a baseline for understanding the growth trajectory over the decade. The growth in M2 underscores the importance of saving deposits and short-term financial instruments in the overall money supply. M3 has consistently grown over the year, indicating an expansion in broader monetary assets. The highest value recorded was in December 2023 at Rm 2.4 trillion, marking a significant milestone in the country's economic development. The lowest value in January 2030 at Rm 1.4 trillion highlights the substantial growth in long-term deposits and institutional funds. This continuous increase in entry points to a stable and growing economy with increased confidence in long-term investment. As a conclusion, the consistent growth in M1, M2 and M3 from 2030 to 2023 indicates a healthy economic environment with increasing liquidity, savings and investment. This trend suggests a positive outlook for Malaysia's economic health and stability.
And I will explain about the analysis of the current trend. The title is Comparison of Malaysian International Trade, Service and Money Supply in 2020 and 2021. Okay, so this is the statistics of international trade service from 2011 to 2022. I will do a comparison in 2020 and 2021. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, in 2020, total trade in service decreased by 33.6% to 232.7 million. Malaysia export of service decreased by 45.5% from 2019 to the current recorded value, resulting from a disruption in the key service component, namely travel and transport. Meanwhile, import of service decreased by 22.5%, relatively a slower decline than service export. The balance of trade in service is negative 47.2 billion. Meanwhile, for 2021, total trade in service increased by 0.6% to 234.2 billion. Export of service decreased by 6.4% as compared to 2020. Meanwhile, imports of service increased by 5.3% as compared to the previous year. As a result, Malaysia recorded its higher trade deficit in service, which widened to 60.7 billion. So as we can see, within these 2 years, Malaysia runs a deficit in the balance of trade in service. It means that it's spending more on importing service than it's earning from exporting service. This is because the implementation of Movement Control Order MCO during the COVID-19 pandemic led to a global economic downturn, affecting the demand for the service worldwide. Travel restriction, lockdown and social distancing measures severely impacted the global travel and business service. As a result, Malaysia likely experienced a reduction in export earnings from service, leading to lower inflows of foreign currency. This deficit of balance of trade in service may have indirectly affected the country's money supply. According to the Central Bank of Malaysia, M1 supply showed decline from 15.7% in 2020 to 10.4% in 2021. However, M2 and M3 supply both increased. For M2, supply increased from 4.5% in 2020 to 6.3% in 2021. Meanwhile, for M3 supply increased from 4.1% in 2020 to 6.4% in 2021. So, a deficit in international trade service means that Malaysia imports service more than export. It often need to pay for them in foreign currency. This outflow of currency to pay for imports reduce the domestic currency available within the country. As a result, there is a less currency in circulation, contributing to a decrease in the money supply M1.
For the conclusion, I can conclude that components of money supply consist three: M1, M2, and M3. M1 is a narrow money supply. It includes money in coins and notes that are in circulation and money equivalents that can be easily converted to cash, whereas M2 includes everything in M1, but it includes short-term deposits in banks. M3 is M2 plus a large time deposit. It is monitored by Bank Negara Malaysia to assess the overall liquidity in the financial system.